Welcome to the Krusty Fox, and if you've been hearing talk about a certain teenage superhero team after watching WandaVision, then this is the video for you. Because today I'm asking, who are the Young Avengers? Beware spoilers ahead for the Young Avengers and Avengers comics, but I'll be steering clear of any discussion of the MCU. I'll cover that in an upcoming video. And if you want more Marvel content, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications so you know whenever I release new videos. So, a bit of history first. The Young Avengers came into being as a direct result of 2005's Avengers Disassembled event. That's where the Avengers found themselves up against a series of apparently random, unconnected threats all happening at once. Their New York mansion was destroyed, killing Ant-Man in the process. Iron Man's apparent drunkenness at the United Nations caused the organisation to sever their ties with the Avengers. She-Hulk lost control and murdered Vision. A Kree armada attacked, causing the death of Hawkeye. The cause of these events was eventually revealed to be Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch. It was initially assumed that Wanda was driven insane by a series of personal losses, not least the children she created for herself and Vision. However, a somewhat messy retcon in 2010 miniseries Avengers The Children's Crusade, largely done to rehabilitate her image, established that Wanda was actually under the mind control of Dr. Doom and wasn't able to stop herself. With their international reputation in tatters, several friends injured or dead at the hands of one of their own, and facing a public outcry due to the devastation of Wanda's attacks, the Avengers disbanded. The Young Avengers, created by Alan Heinberg and Jim Chung, debuted not long after Disassembled came to an end. Brought together by Iron Lad, the starting lineup featured fellow heroes Wiccan, Hulkling and Patriot. Through Volume 1 of the series, they also added Stature, Kate Bishop and Speed to their roster. So, let's take a closer look at those 7 founding members. Iron Lad's civilian identity is Nathaniel Richards, but don't let that fool you. There turned out to be a lot more to him than met the eye. His true identity is an adolescent version of time-traveling villain Kang the Conqueror. Horrified by his evil destiny when the future Kang showed it to him, he stole his older self's tech and escaped into the past to find a way of preventing it from ever coming to pass. When he discovered that the Avengers weren't active in the time period he arrived in, he hacked into the then-dead Vision's memory files, retrieved a list of next-generation heroes, and set about forming his own team. While he did manage to kill Kang, in the end he had to return to his rightful place in the timeline to avoid catastrophic changes to it. Iron Lad wears a suit of neurokinetic armour, styled to resemble the original Iron Man's. The armour responds to his mental commands, which grants him a set of abilities like a more advanced version of Tony Stark's flight and energy projection, with the addition of skills such as shapeshifting. Although his intentions were initially good, various events during Iron Lad's time with the team showed that his supervillainy isn't something he can outrun forever. Wiccan, aka Billy Kaplan, is a mutant with magical abilities not a million miles away from the Scarlet Witches. Wiccan's family tree is complicated, to put it mildly. At one point in the past, Scarlet Witch inadvertently used fragments of the demon Mephisto's soul to create twin sons for herself and husband Vision. These soul fragments were eventually forcibly reabsorbed by Mephisto, apparently wiping the twins from existence. When Mephisto was later destroyed himself, the soul fragments were reincarnated for real as Billy and his twin brother Tommy, though they were born to different biological mothers. Called up to the Young Avengers, he initially goes by the codename Asgardian and styles his costume after Thor's. When the adult Avengers confiscate their equipment, Billy chose to instead go by Wiccan. Billy's powers, as far as have yet been defined, are virtually limitless. He often channels them through chants, literally speaking what he wants to happen into existence. This has seen him fly, teleport, control minds, read thoughts, and warp reality, amongst other things. His innate mystical skills are so powerful that he's been shown to succeed Doctor Strange as the Sorcerer Supreme in the future, and has been predicted by Loki to one day ascend to a form of godhood. Billy is also notable as being one of the 3 LGBT+ members of the original team, and along with now husband Hulkling, one half of Marvel's most prominent gay couple. Tommy Shepard, better known as Speed, was a slightly later addition to the team's lineup but quickly became a mainstay. While his twin brother Billy had a stable and loving upbringing after his reincarnation, Tommy had a rougher ride. He eventually wound up in a metahuman research facility after apparently vaporizing his school, and was subject to tests and experiments with the aim of turning him into a weapon. The Young Avengers rescued him, he agreed to join their team, and eventually discovered the truth of his parentage. Gifted with the mutant ability of super speed like his uncle, Pietro Maximoff aka Quicksilver, Speed has also shown creativity in its application. When required, he's been seen to generate concussive blasts, move so fast that he essentially becomes intangible, and produce whirlwinds. While his exact orientation hasn't been clearly defined up to now, he has been shown to have a romantic relationship with later team member Prodigy. Teddy Altman, aka Hulkling, was raised by his mother, and although aware that his father was someone significant, didn't find out just how true that was until much later. It turned out that Teddy was the son of Skrull Princess Enel and the original male Captain Marvel. That makes him half Skrull, half Kree, uniting the traditionally warring races. The mother he grew up with was revealed to be a chambermaid of the princess, disguised as a human and tasked with keeping him safe on Earth. He learns from the Super Skrull that his real name is Dorek VIII. Just how big a deal his mixed species background is came to fruition in 2020's Empire event, where he took over the rule of the United Civilizations because of his unique position as a child of both worlds. Power-wise, Hulkling originally demonstrates super strength and endurance in line with the Hulk. His heritage also grants him the ability to shapeshift, which he often uses to fly and form weapons like claws. In keeping with his namesake, he most often chooses to present himself as huge and green. By the time Young Avengers began, Hulkling and Wiccan were already dating. This eventually led to Teddy proposing to Billy, and during the events of Empire, they got married. Cassie Lang, daughter of the second comics Ant-Man, Scott Lang, was actually the whole reason her dad got into the superhero life. Scott stole Hank Pym's hero gear to rescue the only doctor capable of treating her heart condition. Later in her childhood, Cassie began experimenting with Scott's supply of Pym particles. For a long time, she assumed that they didn't have any effect on her. She turned out to be mistaken because, in a confrontation with the Young Avengers outside of the destroyed Avengers mansion, she spontaneously grows. This led to her fulfilling her wish to join the team as she wanted to live up to her father's heroic legacy. She gained greater control over her powers as time went on, but still struggled to prevent sudden, unintended size changes when she experienced heightened emotional states. In terms of her power set, she possesses the same shrinking and growing abilities as other Pym particle users, though her health particularly limits her maximum size due to the resulting strain on her heart. Stature was shown to have a mutual attraction with Iron Lad, which mostly went unacted upon when he was forced to return to his rightful place in the timeline. Eli Bradley, aka Patriot, has one of the most interesting and far-reaching backstories of all the Young Avengers. Filling out the Captain America role for the group, Eli turned out to be the grandson of Isaiah Bradley. Isaiah was a test subject of a program which attempted to recreate Project Rebirth's Super Soldier Serum. The intention was to create a new Captain America when the original was presumed dead after World War II. The process was successful, and as a result, Isaiah became the first black Captain America. Eli's original story regarding his powers was that an accident left him in need of a blood transfusion, which Isaiah provided. That in turn was assumed to have given Eli his superhero abilities. What the Young Avengers eventually discover is that there was a mix-up in the process of recruiting their team, and Iron Lad originally came looking for Eli's father. Eli, desperate to live up to his grandfather's heroic legacy, began taking mutant growth hormone in order to fake his abilities and join the team. In a twist of fate, a depowered Eli was later seriously injured during a mission and received a blood transfusion from his grandfather for real. He gained all of the abilities he had before due to the transfused Super Soldier Serum, including super strength, endurance, speed, healing, and senses. After it's retrieved from the Avengers' storage, he also wields Isaiah's triangular shield, and his costume is a variant of the one worn by his grandfather. Sometime prior to the events of Young Avengers number 1, Kate Bishop was attacked in Central Park. To work through the trauma of the event and prevent it from happening again, she began combat training. After meeting the Young Avengers during one of their missions, Kate decided to kit herself out with a range of equipment from different heroes, including Hawkeye's bow, Swordsman's sword, and Black Widow's belt, stolen from the Avengers stores. She tracked the team down at the same time Stature did and persuaded them to let her join up. Although she spent some time using the Hawkeye name, she often goes without a superhero codename. Kate doesn't have any superpowers, just like the original Hawkeye, but demonstrates her worth as a strategist, natural leader, and near-perfect wielder of bows and swords. Her headstrong attitude and bluntness have also earned her the respect of many of the adult Avengers, which contrasts with the mostly over-respectful attitudes of the rest of her teammates. She's also got some largely unexplored chemistry with Patriot, with many of the team assuming that they've got something going on. So that's it for this whistle-stop tour of the Young Avengers. Which character is your favourite? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like to let me know and subscribe for more Marvel content in the future. Either way, thanks for watching, and as ever, if you can't be good, be crusty.